Kristen Welker, thank you very much for that. Former NYPD detective Thomas Ruskin has handled situations like this before. He's back with us. Thomas, I'm curious, how easy or hard is it to get your hands on some ricin? And when we talk about a ricin-laced envelope, what do you imagine that you would actually see if you were opening that up? Is it just sort of, lying in an envelope, or is it sort of, pasted onto there, or what are we talking about here?
It can be delivered in many different ways, in the envelope or on the outside of the envelope. Ricin is a very dangerous chemical, and it goes back to World War I, when our government considered putting it on bullets, but it would have violated certain treaties and certain conventions that we had already agreed to. But, in recent cases, it could be made, with a chemistry degree, and it's not that easy to make, and it's very dangerous to come in contact with. So the person making it would have to have some experience or knowledge of how to handle it and how to possibly put it in something to be able to deliver it.
Well, and Tom, I think it's fair to say that everyone is in a heightened state of security right now, of emergency security. So we're obviously paying more attention to these things. But in your experience, do politicians and people of national importance get suspicious packages and letters with these sort of things on a fairly regular basis? Yes, and that's why the government has these off-site facilities to take this in, to make sure that ricin, anthrax, remember the anthrax scares even in this building years ago, and our company was hired to have screening facilities and alternate facilities for certain companies in New York City. So it's a very, very serious thing, but companies as well as government facilities have gotten on top of this to make sure that it doesn't come through. I don't really believe it has any correlation, or you're going to have to convince me it does have a correlation with what happened in Boston. I think it's just, coincidence that it's happening at the same time. Or maybe someone who wanted the publicity based on the fact that Boston's taking all his publicity away.
Thomas, the Secret Service has been quick to put out information on this investigation. What is their objective in doing that?
Well, I think it's, one, to say that it got caught, and secondly, not to have the press report it before the Secret Service does. So they got on top of it. They discovered it yesterday, from what we know, and they put it out immediately, saying that someone did try it and that they've caught it, and there's no danger here. Same thing in the Capitol. When the Republican senator from Mississippi received a suspicious letter yesterday. But as Essie said, these suspicious packages and letters are received quite often. They're tested. The tests for ricin is sometimes you can get a false positive, which means that it tests positive for ricin, and the further tests that they're now putting these letters through may turn out that it's not ricin, or it's a ricin, or one of the chemical derivatives.
All right, Thomas Ruskin, thank you so much for all your insights on all of the breaking news today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And up next will be